Hey, BJ, can you hear me?
I can. Thanks, Charlie.
Thanks for your time. So, with 12 guys, how much can you really get done as opposed to maybe an ideal situation? And then the other part of it, I wondering if you could give a little insight into how you prep for these two friendlies, because I know you have the group stage games are the number one priority, but and over a friendly, maybe, but you may see either one of these teams in the knockout phase in a month or so.
First, for first part with being able to train with 12 guys, I think it actually gives us a really good opportunity to work on some individual development with them. Obviously, using it in some small group stuff, and really just trying to see where they came from out of their club season, and really give them a lot of individual attention before the full group gets here later in the week, and we probably get further into some more of the full team team exercises and team development. In terms of how we approach the friendlies, I think it's a lot of it has to do with really giving us a long opportunity to train and solidify the identity that we want to play with. And knowing that we're going to get to test that identity and against two really good opponents, like you said, that we could potentially see further down the road. But a lot of it's being, trying to stay focused on ourselves and understand that, we want to be a really cohesive unit by the time that we start that first match versus Colombia.
Next will be Jonathan Tannenwald from the Philadelphia Inquirer.
Thanks, Michael. Hi, BJ. Hope all is well down there.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Um, I was curious. I know there's been a lot of discussions between the senior coaching staff and the Olympic coaching staff about who's going to go where and so on and so forth. I'm sure you're an expert witness because you know so many of the guys so well. What's been your perspective on how that has unfolded and how some of the decisions went into, what you saw with this roster versus the overage guys for the Olympics and so on?
Yeah, I would say, one of the guiding principles that we've always tried to do is that we want to use as many opportunities to expose as many players in our player pool that we can to really high level competition. And we have a fortunate situation now where we have the two friendlies in Copa and sort of connected with this Olympic camp that's occurring, and then we'll continue into their Olympic games. So, first and foremost, it's trying to expand and give as many players high competition. I would say specifically to this camp, there is definitely a focus here on the senior team. We understand the importance of this tournament. We understand the importance of how this can, help us continue to grow in knockout games, earning the way to knockout games, playing through group stage, and going for 2026. So I would say it's trying to find a balance, but we want to make sure that we're fielding one of the strongest teams we can, but at the same time, we have a talented, deep player pool. That's one of our strengths. So making sure that there's opportunities for other players to face really good competition under real pressure in the Olympics.
We'll go to Henry Bushnell from Yahoo.
Thanks, Michael. Hey, BJ. Hope all's well.
Thanks, Henry.
Just the length of this camp is obviously a lot more. It's a lot longer than the most of the other camps that you get with the national team in general, not just over the past year. How within the coaching staff, how have you talked about trying to take advantage of that, both in terms of how you structure sessions and just in terms of what you want to really get out of this, more significant time you have with players?
It's a really an opportunity that we're looking forward to finally get to spend periods training and having long periods of where we can create competitive training sessions and really again, like I said earlier, try to solidify a lot of the principles and identity that we want to play with. Also, a nice thing is the first five sort of opponents you're going to play. We can sort of prepare for that, and we can also try to group some of the similarities. So I think that's really there's every team's going to have their own individual sort of challenges that they'll give to us, but at the same time, we're going to be able to group them and work on different things that we want to. And just honestly, it's pure it's just excitement that we have a lot of time to work and to really I would say build our identity both on and off the field.
Next will be Ron Blum from the Associated Press.
Hey BJ, hope all's doing well there. Tyler, what is his condition at this point in camp? Was it just back spasms he's coming off of, or anything else? And do you think it was related to coming back in his action off the leg injury?
You know, it's hard for me to like make those sort of jumps as to like what it's going to be, what it's linked to. You know, I think we're confident that he's in camp here. He's feeling good. We're really confident in, you know, the plan that we've put in place. We've also been in really close communication with Bournemouth as well, knowing where he's coming in. So, I mean, the expectation for him is to continue sort of this plan, be a participant in the camp, and of course, we look forward to him playing in the games as we come up. But, you know, I'm not able to. It's not really my specialty or my, you know, my world to be like what caused, you know, sort of, you know, some of the medical pieces. I can just tell you that he's in great spirits. He's looking fit. He's, you know, he's here in training, and we've had a really great partnership with Bournemouth over the last couple of weeks to make sure that we've developed a plan that's going to allow him to maximize his performance here throughout the friendlies and Copa.
And just to confirm, Tyler was one of the 12 players who participated in training today. We'll continue with Paul Tenorio from The Athletic.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks, BJ. I wonder, obviously, you guys have your own system and your own plan, and Christian has been a very successful player with the national team and impactful player. But when somebody comes into camp off of, you know, probably arguably his career best form, and you see him playing the way he does, how do you try to carry over that form from the club to the country? And are there things that you saw in how they use him at the club level? I know he plays a lot on the right there versus the left of the national team. Are there things that you look at and try to consider of what can we do to kind of keep Christian at this level and make him as impactful for the national team this summer? Thank you.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, Christian's had an unbelievable year, and it's something that he should be applauded and celebrated by everybody, because I think, you know, him transitioning to Milan and really kind of fitting right in is just a credit to his, I would say, mentality and determination. And then on the field, he's done a great job in the role that they've asked. And to answer your question, I would say for us, it's just about building on that by giving him clear expectations, really making you know, his role for us clear. And, you know, yeah, utilizing him in ways that put him that bring out his strengths. We know that he's a player that likes to get the ball between lines. We know he's an exciting player when he's running at players. And I think for us, and something that we talk to him all the time, and maybe he doesn't get enough credit, but we certainly appreciate is he arrives in the box and can score goals. And so for us, it's to make sure that we get him in goal-scoring opportunities, you know, and making plays. So I think when you have a player that's confident, just, you know, he understands that we believe in him, and putting him in those situations keeps that flowing, and that's what we plan to do.
Next is Sanjay Sujanthakumar.
Thanks, Michael, and thanks, BJ, for your time. Few questions. First one, in terms of replacing Serginho, Greg discussed a few of the options with that. How much do you think that depends on the opponent? A couple of the opponents coming up obviously have serious attacking talent, and like Charlie said, you could see them in the knockout rounds, but you're starting the tournament against teams where you're expected to have the ball, right? So how do you think about the opponent, but also want to focus on one guy and kind of give them reps? How do you balance that in terms of the decision? That's the first question. Then second question, could you just talk a little bit more specifically in terms of selection at center back, balancing the needs of this team versus the Olympic team, and particularly the decision with Walker? Thank you.
Yeah, so I mean, for the right back position, certainly I think, you know, we've got a lot of capable options that we're going to take a look at, and of course everything comes down to sort of individual game plans. You're right, we're going against teams that, you know, collectively are very good, but also some of them have some world-class players. But, you know, I think the strength of our group is, you know, guys are adaptable. They play different positions in their clubs, and that's one of the greatest strengths that I think, you know, whoever we choose to play that position, or multiple players to play that position throughout the tournament, you know, we expect them to perform well. And for me, we've seen that at the club level, and I don't think you know, the expectation is no different here at the national team level. In terms of the Olympic balance and the way we pick center backs, I think we have a great group of center backs here that are in camp. Again, I think we've made an effort to try to expose as many guys to high level group play knockout competition. So as we continue to look towards 26, players have that experience. Walker is someone who was with us in the World Cup. Someone that we think very highly of, and also he's a player that's got a ton of leadership qualities. He's a leader and captain type player, and when he goes down with the Olympic group, we expect nothing less than that. Is that he can take he can transcend our identity into that group, but also be a leadership type of guy who has World Cup experience into a potentially younger group that has to go and perform very quickly based upon the Olympic format.
So just a quick note, I know everyone is waiting for the conference call with Olympic team head coach Marko Mitrovic. So we're going to take one more question here and then allow you to join that call. They are waiting for us to finish here before they begin. So last question, as usual, goes to Andrew Jones.
Thanks, Michael. It'll be real quick with you, BJ. We just talked to Chris about how he played so well at almost like a holding mid position at Crystal Palace. You talk about his versatility, and if you, with the depth you have in midfield, probably wouldn't need him for just that and keep him in center back. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, again, that goes back to my last answer. I would say as well. You can see the strength of our group is a bit of the adaptability. Not only did he play center midfielder like you said, but he's played side center back in a back five. He's played center back in a back four. And I think all of these experiences that we see from him and the others in their club season this year is something that we need to take into consideration when we decide our game plans, for the next 5 opponents that we have here in the friendlies in Copa America.